Driven by destiny, the unlikely bond of warriors and battles for life and territory like predators, human or as if animals. Prehistoric, tough life, harsh environment, and hard love. The story begins with the voiceover, explains that long ago there were people who were hunters. Things were not going so well, and the spirit woman was constantly asking the gods for a sign. The sign comes when the hunters find a young girl with blue eyes. Her name is Evelyn. The spirit woman touches Evelyn's face and sees visions. After that, she says that all of the Evelyn's people had been slain by the four-legged demons. She also says that the young girl would grow up to be the woman of the man who will lead their people. All of this happened after the people's last hunt. At this time, the main character, Dele, is a young boy. He notices Evelyn from the first time she arrives at their village. Meanwhile, Dele's father cannot wait for the fulfillment of the spirit woman's prophecy. He holds the white spear, which means he is the leader of hunters, and gives it to his friend Tik-Tik, and wants Tik-Tik to promise him to protect his son, and won't tell no one the reason why he left his tribe. He is off to search for answers that could help his people. Everyone thinks that he abandoned his people, and the young children makes fun of Dele because of it. He and Evelyn grew closer because he is lonely like her. He asks what happened to her people. She says they were killed by the four-legged demons. Then Dele promises her she will never be alone again, and points to a star which never go away from the point they leave. That's like Evelyn in his heart and never go away, he says. Years later, when they are adults, we see Dele and a younger boy named Baku asking about hunting and how long they have to keep watching for mammoths, and talks about old mother visions toward the next great hunter who can claim Evelyn, and that person is not Dele. That's what the old mother think. Then Evelyn shows up and talks about running away they both together, but Dele doesn't want to abandon his people like his father did. Baku hears and sees the great mammoths coming through and shoots the hunters. They gather around. Tik-Tik announces that the one who kills the mammoth would hold the white spear and claim Evelyn. Dele is still treated with little regard because his father was a coward, but he is determined to win the white spear and the girl. They make mammoths stampede and lead them into trap. All is going as planned when they capture one mammoth in their nets. However, the mammoth breaks free. Everyone is holding on, gradually let go. Dele and Tik-Tik are the last ones holding on. Tik-Tik tells him to let go. He says his hand is stuck. The mammoth continues to drag him on. Then the mammoth gets free out of the net and charges back at Dele. And he throws a spear. Nothing serious happens. Then he grabs another to fight, but is stuck in the rocks, and the mammoth runs in the spear and gets killed. Then others arrive and pull him out when he is stuck under the beast. They chant him and admire him for his braveness. But only Tik-Tik knows the truth and just gives Dele a look of disapproval when he asks for the white spear. And it bothers Dele as well, which later on he gives it back. But Evelyn is upset because she is implied that he should have kept so they could be together, but he says it was a lie. He was stuck on that shady net, and that mammoth was stupid enough to kill itself when his spear was stuck in the rocks. But Evelyn is disappointed and walks away. In that very night, the old mother freaks out of her sleep. She gets out and notices the four-legged demons are about to raid the village. They kill some people and take some in chains. The four-legged demons are actually warlord men on horses. One of the people taken is Evelyn because of her beauty. The head of the warlords takes her for himself. Dele is determined to follow and rescue his love. The spirit woman doubts that he is able to accomplish the task by himself. Tik-Tik and another hunter agree to go with him. The spirit woman spits on them. She blesses them. Then they are ready to hit the vast frozen mountain land. She feels their suffering during the journey, by the way. The little boy Baku joins them as well. They are able to follow the warlords over the mountains by the help of Evelyn. She consistently puts sign on the way. One of the generals caught her and takes her shells, or rather marbles or something. Then they follow them into the forest. In the forest they stay the night, and Dele with his men decides to wait and watch them. But Dele can't hold it on and disregards the advice of Tik-Tik and tries to free Evelyn. As they are trying to make the escape, there are these giant man-eating birds that attack, and Dele kills one. In the end, the warlords capture Evelyn and two of the others in Dele's group. Now there are Dele and Tik-Tik. The others are captured by the warlords. Tik-Tik is injured. Dele nurses him back to health while continuing to follow the warlords. One night, he is out trying to kill some food and falls into a pit. Sometimes later, he is awakened by the rain. He sees a saber-toothed tiger that is struggling not to drown. He wants to kill it, but cannot since it is helpless. He frees the tiger, and the tiger roars into his face, then runs off. Back at the mountain village, the old mother is freaking out. She sees the whole thing. What a legend. The next day, he notices a village nearby, and they go into the village and begin to eat food that they see outside. Then the tribe of people appear and pull out their spears. There is a face-off between the tribe and Dylan and Tik-Tik. Meanwhile, the saber-toothed tiger appears and once again roars in Dylan's face. He mentions to the tiger that they already know each other. Then the villagers are shocked and happy at the same time, because this exchange fulfills an ancient prophecy in the village about the man that speaks to the tiger can save their people. They follow Dylan to rescue their people. The warlords passed through and captured some of their people too. At night, they give them plenty of food, and Dele eats a chili pepper without knowing the consequences. It is quite funny. The chef talks about a man who has come long ago and have taken by the warlords. He says that man had Dele's face. Then he realizes that man was his father. Dele is wondering why the villagers believe that he can make them free. And Tik-Tik explains about Dele's father who hadn't left his people. He actually had been gone to find a way for saving his people. Dele is mad why Tik-Tik has made everyone believe that his father was a coward for leaving his people. But Tik-Tik says because it was a promise not to tell anyone about why his father left. All the tribes comes together following Dele to rescue their people. Someone mentions that the warlords use birds to fly to their destination. The birds are actually ships going down a river. By the way, we see the two heads of the warlords have some beef, better knowing it for later on, it comes in handy. They go by ships and Dele with his men hit the desert to meet the warlords at the end of the river without knowing if they can get there or all would die. The warlord chef is in love with Evelet and tells her that forget about Dele and her people because no one has ever succeeded to cross that desert. They finally get there, but not before those who captured by warlords. There are thousands of people that are being held captive to build giant pyramid for the Almighty. The Almighty is supposedly the god among them and commissions the build of the pyramid-like tower in the ancient city. He gives his approval or disapproval of the work being done on pyramid. He calls for a sacrifice because he is not pleased with their progress. One of the men from Dele's village is sacrificed. Dele infiltrates in the slave camps to inform the people that they will overthrow the powers and release Evelet. After talking to a blind wise man, Dele learns that the Almighty is only afraid of the one who bears the mark of the hunter. He does not have this mark, and so he is unsure if the enslaved workers will assist him with overthrowing the Almighty. And he also notices a bracelet he is wearing and asks where did he get that. The blind man tells him that the man who saved his life has given him. That man was Dele's father. That night, Tik-Tik is killed in a scuffle with some of the guards from the ancient city. He passes the white spear to Dele and encourages him to fulfill his destiny. Meanwhile, the warlord has caught Evelet, is getting ready to claim her as his. With her in his arms, she takes his knife. Then she is stopped from killing him because priest or monk-like people come to take the warlord. They ask him why did he steal from the Almighty. His own man exposes him. He was jealous of him all the time. Then they take the knife from her. When they are doing so, they see her hand and her scar is the mark of the hunter. Her scar catches a constellation. They run to tell the Almighty, and he is understandably agitated because he is close to his end. And Dele pumps his men with some motivational speech. The next day is the rebellion. They plan some tools and weapons for later, and we see the warlord's general is getting tortured with Evelet. Dele gets the mammoths that are doing the work to rampage. As a result, all hells break loose. People who were getting whipped turn on their captors, beating them back and killing them. The priest or monk-like people tell the Almighty what is happening. He says they would tie up the girl because the hunter just wants her. The hunters and ex-slave are running towards the temple of the Almighty, and Dele stops everyone because he sees Evelet tied up. The Almighty says he can take her and leave everyone else. He says that he will agree to this bargain, but he wants all his people. They agree as well. Then he asks what will happen to others. The Almighty says they will serve the God forever. Dylan says no, they will not, and throw his spear, and the Almighty drops. Everyone sees that he is not a god as he claimed. While all the fighting is going on, Dele is looking for Evelyn. The love-struck warlord is determined to have her and is escaping with her on a horse. Evelyn uses an arrow to stab him and they fall off. She runs back towards Dele. The warlord shoots her with an arrow in the back and says Dele will not have her either. The old mother felt the arrow back at the mountains. Dele holds her and she breathes her last breath. But as she does that, the spirit woman is about to die as well. Her last breath brings Evelyn back to life. Evelyn lives. Dele and his tribesmen return home. A man who was friend with Dele's father gives him some seeds to carry back to their land. This is so they will have food and not go hungry in lean times. The movie ends with Evelyn and Dele checking on their crops and kissing in the sunset.